They say opposites attract.
Well, how about these opposites? Daddies and sons.
You're listening to Daddy and Son.
A podcast where we explore the dynamics of daddy and son relationships, multi-generational views,
And everything else in between.
Welcome back, ladies, bitches, theys, and gays,
And everybody else who's listening out there.
and everyone else in between, to this show. Yes, it's a show, and it's called Daddy.
And Sons.
My name is Alex.
And I'm Norm.
How are you doing, Norm?
I'm doing great. I'm glad it's Friday. And it's hot and humid here in Toronto. We're in for a heat wave.
That's what they said. They said for the next week, we will be having a very smoldering heat wave starting tomorrow. But I think it's already started.
It has.
I feel sun drunk. And I only walked from the car back to the loft, and I feel sun drunk.
It is high 80s in the sun. And believe it or not, it's cooler down where you are near the lake than it is a mile and a half north of here.
Oof.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm not coming to your side of the city then.
The poor side of the city. That's where I live.
How was your week?
I was busy. I've got this new gig, and it's supposed to be part-time, but part-time of what? Part-time of a lot of time.
Really? I thought you had negotiated your working hours.
When you're self-employed, you don't really negotiate your own hours.
Huh.
You have people that, you have to do work, and you just do it. But you know what? I'm glad to have something to do.
I get that.
You know?
I get that.
Yeah.
Do you feel alive?
I do, and I'm in good shape, and I have a birthday coming up.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Norm is turning a big boy.
And I got my hair cut yesterday, and I look 10 years younger.
Huh.
So my haircut person tells me. My stylist.
You're an esthetician.
Well, no, that's another person.
Oh my gosh, my week has been crazy. I feel defeated. I feel beaten down. Maybe it's because I saw my chiropractor today, and anytime I get cupped and I get acupuncture done, it just drains me. I feel extremely sleepy.
Yeah, because it's de-stressing you.
It's de-stressing, yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, you don't look tired. You look great.
No way.
Yeah, but I think the visit to the chiropractor must have done something for you because you've got a gleam in your eye. That's great.
Thank you. She's so good.
Wow.
She's all the way in Etobicoke.
Yeah, and to go there on a Friday
At
afternoon.
Long Branch, but I during rush hour,
I don't know how.
nobody else could get me to do that. But she's that good.
Is she
Norm.
is she near the GO train?
I don't think so. She's. Is there a GO train by Long Branch?
It was the Long Branch station.
Oh, well, could be. I don't know.
Well, on a day like today, I would do that. But anyway,
because I drive everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you know what?
You're a car person, I know.
I'm a car person.
You do well in Texas.
This is why I'm moving to the Midwest. Because they are my kind of people.
Manitoba or St. Louis?
See, except they don't do electric vehicles. But I like the idea of living in Manitoba, Minnesota area. Yeah, I like the idea of, if I should have a neighbor, it would be Tim Waltz. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I worked for an MP from Winnipeg for a long time ago, and the people in Manitoba are very, very friendly people.
That's why it's called Friendly Manitoba.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's why.
Actually, there are a lot of parts of Canada that are more friendly than Toronto.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's
Toronto is friendly, but there are a lot of friendlier parts. Yeah. I would say Manitoba is one of them. I would say Nova Scotia is one of them.
Nova Scotia for sure.
And I will even go as far as to say BC is one of them too. Ironically, a lot of people don't give BC credit, but I'll be in BC running and I'll just wave at people or high five people when I'm running, and people are high fiving me back.
Wow.
Or I'll be on the slope snowboarding, and randomly people will be offering me liquor on the hills.
Well, there's sort of a West Coast feel to BC that, you know, it reminds you a little bit of Northern California.
Yeah, everybody's just chill
Yeah,
and
yeah.
happy-go-lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's if you have never drank that Kool-Aid, I would strongly encourage you to take a sip. It's definitely the place to be. It's definitely the place to be. I have a question for you.
Uh-oh,
Before we
here's a-
jump in today's episode.
Question time.
So, as you know,
By the way, this has not been rehearsed, ladies and
a couple
gentlemen.
things have happened over the week since you know we've been away. The BBL was passed, and the Supreme Court gave Trump the permission to, of course, as you know, continue with the Doge efforts and fire thousands of federal workers.
Yep.
As a conservative and a lifelong Trumpian,
No, hold on a minute. I'm not a Trumpian.
what is your take on this?
I'm not a Trumpian. I think Trump's nuts. I think, I mean, he just announced 35% tariffs on Canada. This guy wakes up in the morning and picks something out of the air, a number, an issue, a country, and throws a spin and then comes up with a combination. Oh, this is what we're going to talk about today. And it's a stupid way to run a country. By the way, what are we drinking today? Said he as he was picking up his wonderful looking drink
So I would strongly suggest
to a successful
Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
give it a nice little stir with your cinnamon stick. And what you're drinking today
Oh, it's delicious.
is a concoction that I have. It's wanted to give a Spanish Latin drink a nice little European spin. I call this horchata spagliato. And horchata is a traditional Mexican drink that
delicious.
is made with fermented rice, water. Yes, I know.
Is that what's in here?
Sounds gross, but it's
Yeah,
absolutely delicious.
This is delicious.
So they take the rice, they wash the rice, the water that comes off the rice, they ferment it, and it has spices like cinnamon and nutmeg inside of it,
Cinnamon, let me in.
and vanilla, and it also has, of
delicious.
course, I've spiced mine up with star anise and a nice cinnamon stick and a little bit of milk, and that's what you're getting. Those nice condensed milk, those nice flavors, and of course you cannot forget the nice, delicate balance with lemon juice. Actually, lime juice,
What was the spice? Sarnis?
star anise,
I've never heard of that.
nutmeg, and cinnamon.
Okay. Well, for all of you out there, for every
It's beautiful, isn't it? And absolutely delicious.
It is
It looks
delicious.
heavy, but it's quite light and
No,
refreshing.
it's a very summery drink. It's a nice white foam at the top. It's just.
I'm
very-
glad you like
no,
it
it's
because
very-
I was on the fence
Oh, come on!
whether
I
you'd
mean,
like it, but
no, I like your drinks.
well, thank you.
All his drinks are delicious.
Now the spagliato part, which
Some
is
of
the
these are-
important part for
and
those
the-
listening, wondering how do you get horchata spagliato? Because I've topped it off with a nice brut a nice semi cava. Again, keeping in theme with the Spanish, a little bit from the old world, a little bit from the new world.
Now, is this your recipe or is this?
It is my recipe, yes.
Well, you are original in many respects, son.
Thank you.
I don't know. You know, you're one of the most creative people that I know. It's amazing in
ye-
different ways.
I will take it, but because I don't think of myself as a creative.
Well, sometimes we don't know things about ourselves that others see that are there, and that's one of them. For you,
I got a suggestion from a listener
yes.
when I was in the UK, and they said, why don't I put together a recipe book
Yeah.
for the show as a merch?
And each episode could have a different cocktail.
What do you think?
I think it's kind of neat.
I think it's a great idea.
We could call it the Daddy and Son Cocktail Hour. Wow. Cocktail Hour. It's a little bit of a double entendre there, but we're talking about bar
see what
service.
you did
We're
there.
talking about bar service, of course.
You know what? That I was gonna name. I had a name for today's episode, but that's what I'm gonna call today's episode: the Cocktail Hour. That's exactly what I'm gonna call it.
And to the ladies at my church, to whom I gave the link for this wonderful podcast, this is an adult show, but we certainly talk about very practical things from time to time, don't we?
Not you giving the link to people at church. Oh my!
They expressed an interest
This
in what I
very
do.
secular show. Oh no, they don't know what they're in for. They better clutch their rosaries.
We don't use rosaries in the Anglican Church, but I digress.
Ooh, I'm just playing. You know what? I'm gonna have to come check out your church. I'm not saying I'm committing, because you know what I've been reading lately? The Torah.
You know what? Everybody's on.
I'm not saying I'm converting to Judaism, but I've been reading the Torah lately, because I want to see. As you know, I read the Quran last year, and
I didn't know that.
You saw it on my table, like I was on my coffee table, like I
I
was.
didn't know you were reading it.
Well, it's not just there for paperweight.
Oh, well, you have a lot of different objects around the place that have various functions. I thought perhaps that might be serving one too, but
Not a holy book. I can't with you. Yeah, I'm trying to expand my knowledge base so that I can make decisions that are based on my own thought process and intuition and faith, and not based on indoctrination. So I'm broadening my horizons.
well, and that's legit. I mean, our ministers at our church, when they introduce their sermon, they say, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, whether you're skeptical, searching, or committed, you're welcome here.
You see.
That's how they start every chat, which is, hey, this is God's house. Come and listen. You're welcome to do with it what you will.
Okay. All right. I love a musical church. Is it musical?
Yes, the first 20 minutes is.
Yeah? Is it good music?
Well, it's the service I go to it's like a band. It's like popular
Oh,
folk
okay.
music. Yeah, there's formal organ music at 11:15, and the one I go to at 9:30 is a little more. I don't know what the word contemporary they call it.
I
Contemporary.
like a mix.
Well, you could go to both services then.
I like a mix. I'd like to see where I fit in, but I don't know if I can make a 9:30 a.m.
Watch it on
mass.
YouTube. Watch it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, we live stream. In fact, I will send you the link for the last Sunday.
Aren't you all futuristic?
We're talking about. Oh, this is a very wired church. Trust me. Got their own YouTube channel. They have all their stuff up there. And you live stream. Hey, listen, it's high tech. Come on, this is Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, and I haven't even gone there yet, but I'm impressed. So, you know what? We're just going to jump right into today's episode.
Yeah.
I want to discuss with you budgeting, but specific, because we've done budgeting before.
Yeah, I thought we had.
But specifically, as you know, this is a multi-generational show. And so I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to revisit the conversation in a way, from an angle that we did not discuss in season 1.
Okay.
And that is, I wanted to talk to you about spending power. Specifically speaking, spending power within the city today versus spending power, let us say 40, 50 years ago when you were my age. Wait, that would
have been 40 years ago, yes.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
Maybe 45. What are you going to be? 30? 29?
30.
40 years.
So
40 years ago.
Okay, that's 40.
Close enough.
Close. Okay, like close
We
enough.
don't have to give exact
Now
dates
you're
around.
staring at me like, don't you dare.
I'm not afraid. Do I look my age? Oh, gee. That's the scream of a son in heat.
Not 40 years ago when I haven't even been alive for 40 years. But okay, let's just say 40 years ago. What does spending power compare to that time? And
Well-
I'll maybe have some ancillary comments and questions to follow up to that. So before we start, I'm going to take a quick break so we can refresh our horchata spagliatas, and then we'll jump right into it. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, beautiful. We'll be right back. And we're back. So, Daddy, I wanted to talk to you about the reality of budgeting and how it impacts young people today and kind of, get some wisdom from you.
I'll try.
I hope so, because I could use some, and I'm sure some of our young listeners can use some. Like, as you know, 1/3 of our listeners are according to Spotify, are between the age of 18 to 22,
Wow.
which is, it still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Still blows my mind, but I'm very much grateful. I have no idea how they found us because I don't know any 18-year-olds, but I'm very thankful. That face must be your people. So,
He's 19.
one of the things I want to know is the reality of inflation.
Yep.
And rising cost of things, especially in a post-tariff world. Have you been feeling the pinch?
Well,
I know
tariffs-
that you're a man of a particular income, but still,
Well, first of all,
you budget.
when I was your age, I didn't really have a budget. I budget now.
How did you get by then?
Well, I just didn't spend more than I earned. I mean, that
Spending
was
up-
sort of a mental budget of I know how much I get each month. I know how much I should save. I know what cost of living is. Stay within it.
That is something that they don't teach in school, budgeting per se. We don't learn that, and I'm sure I'm not the only Gen Zer out here who probably can identify to this. And if they're not teaching the Gen Zs, they're definitely not teaching the Gen Alphas.
Well, it depends on your personal choice. I have a friend, roughly a little older than you are, who has been in this country now about 10 years, 11 years. He racked up a whole lot of debt, like 60, 70 grand in a few years.
What?
Just,
Was it investments?
well, no, it was, spending his place where he lives, doing some travel, buying a vehicle. And, I just never would have allowed myself to get in that position. Everybody's a little different. Now, he's gone about fixing that. And how did he start by fixing it? He developed a budget. Here's what I'm going to spend. Here's how much I'm going to retire my debt. And the point is, you got to have a budget. You got to discipline yourself to say, how much am I earning? How much do I need? Is there anything left over? And in some cases, there isn't. And you try to got to live within that. And if you can't, you're going to be in debt. It's real simple. It doesn't matter whether it's 1900, 2000, or 2025.
I don't know. I kind of feel like people keep talking about budget, and I kind of feel like it's a magic word. A magic word because it's a concept that it's impossible. The limit does not exist. Hear me out.
What do you mean by the limit doesn't exist?
People keep talking about that young people should be budgeting, but how can we budget when you have a full-time job, a part-time job, and a side hustle, and you still are struggling to make ends meet?
Well,
What's there to budget? What is there to save?
Well, no, that's where you're saying the budgeting is saving. And yes, it can be saving.
No, I'm not even saying the budgeting is saving. I'm just saying that. Okay, let me use myself as an example.
Okay.
I don't know about saving, but here's what I do. I know I have my fixed expenses, right? And I know that I have certain things that I do frequently throughout the month. It's not fixed.
Okay.
It's not a phone bill. It's not the Netflix.
All right, let me ask you a question there. Do you have a limit for how much you're prepared to spend on those things that you may or may not spend money on in that month?
It's hard for me to put a limit on it.
See, that's what a budget does. It says, okay, I've got $1,500 a month for rent, but I'm going to put $300 a month for entertainment. The entertainment part,
300?
well, whatever. It could be 500, it could be 700, it could be 100. The point is you have a number there. That's what budgeting is. It's simply a matter of deciding whether you're going to put a number there, and at the end of the month, is it red or is it black? Black, you didn't spend all that money. Red, you went over budget.
See, in this city, it's so easy to go over budget.
For sure, because it's
I'll tell
expensive
you,
here.
because it's so expensive. But young people, my people my age, they don't want to stay home. You see, I'll be happy just going to the LCBO, buying a few bottles, and like mixing a drink here that is restaurant quality, and having a games night, watching a movie.
It's 5-star hotel quality.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, like having some fellowship, but folks want to go out to a lounge, get dressed up, and I'm like, get dressed up and come here. But they want to get dressed up. They want to go to a lounge. They want to like squinge into a tiny booth
Not my thing.
in a loud place.
I'm more like you. I would rather do it at
that
home.
they can barely hear each other speak.
No. I'd much rather be at home having chat with friends. That's my
Have
speed.
4 drinks and then spend $200 on 4 drinks.
There's the budget. There's the budget for the month.
And there's the budget for the month.
Yeah, so-
except that they have to do that every weekend.
Well, then they are not. The word budget is irrelevant. They're living beyond their means, whether they have a budget or not. And if they had a budget, they would know that very quickly because the number would be red at the bottom of them at the end of the month.
But you know what? I'm gonna start. Do you think this would be a positive thing to do, as a young person, to start calling up my friends for it?
Well, I think the question is, A, how are you financing it? And B, what do you want to do when you're 60? Where's your money going to come from? Because now's the time to start saving for when you become 60, because that will happen very quickly. Look at me.
Honey, I don't think you became 60 quite quickly.
Well,
I don't think you
what?
did.
It's amazing how fast time goes by, and the point is,
What, did you blink and then the iPad was invented?
you know what? My doctor was telling me once he heard a story. He was walking down the street, and as he walked past 2 people, he overheard one of them say, and you know what? All of a sudden, I was 60 years old. And then he carried on. I thought, wow, that's kind of neat. That person became 60 pretty quickly. But the point is, why do you want to spend more than you earn? That's a lousy way to live. Do you agree?
Yes, but
That's stressful.
yes, I get it, but I also, in the same breath, I kind of understand where young people are coming from. We live in an age where we'll never be able to afford anything.
Well, I would say not everything.
We will never be able to afford a house. Most young people will never be able to travel. And so
That's true. This is a different era. When I was your age, a house was a possibility. For some, it became a reality. For people your age now, unless they have their parents helping them out, it ain't going to happen.
it's not going to happen. All my friends who own homes are people who have family helping them out.
Yeah.
Whether it's they're able to stay at home and live rent-free and save their paycheck for a few years for the down payment, or their parents are giving them a portion of the down payment down. But that's just not the reality today. It's simply not the reality.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I genuinely feel empathetic towards young people for is this YOLO feeling.
YOLO?
Yeah, you only live once.
I say, okay.
This YOLO feeling, so it's just like,
But you live forever.
well, fuck it. I'm going to have Starbucks 5 days a week because if I don't, it doesn't make a difference. I'm still not going to be able to own a home. I'm going to go out every weekend.
Kind of a giving up attitude.
Yeah, it's a kind of a giving up attitude, but do you blame them?
Well, there's other people that I know in this city that are struggling to have enough food to eat.
With the rising cost of food as an example.
I have a couple of friends like that, and I almost put them in. I remember hearing an expression when I was working, or when I was studying, the working poor. There are a lot of people that are working their tails off, but they're not getting enough hours or enough income and to sustain their lifestyle.
And you
for
best
very
believe
basic
that's
things.
the working poor, you best believe that is a thing.
Yeah.
We also live in a world where, especially young people, the algorithm on TikTok and on Instagram, we get fed a lot of information that states that if you are a young person and you are not dating someone who makes 7 or 8 figures, then you're a loser. You're a failure.
7 figures. That's a lot of 6 figures is $100,000. 7. Most people don't earn 7-figure incomes.
That is what. But again, that's what the internet is feeding us. If you're not dating I can show you a reel.
Do you agree with that?
If I can open up my Instagram right now and show you a reel, 2 or 3 scrolls down, that is going to tell me that if I'm not dating someone with 7 or 8 figure income, I ain't shit.
Well, I'd say that's baloney because your self-worth is not a function of who you date and how much they're making. If that's your approach to life, you got it wrong.
And I'm not saying that this is right.
Okay.
I'm not saying that is right.
Some people are getting fed that stuff.
I'm saying that people are getting fed that stuff.
Okay.
Because we are going through a time where hope and escapism is the reality.
There's a great spiritual emptiness in today's society.
So you lost me there. Define spiritual emptiness.
People are looking for meaning in their life, and they're not finding it. The economic, there's a lot of despair. There's a lot of kind of, what am I doing this for? Like you just expressed it a few minutes ago.
Yeah. I think I was lost because of the spiritual part of it.
Well, I think that's an add-on to what you're talking about, because I think there is that, but I think there's also a lot of economic uncertainty. There's a lot of, I'm not going to be able to make it, or I'm just going to be able to stay afloat, and when I'm no longer working, WTF am I going to do? And I think that's the very quiet question people are asking, even at 25 or 30. If I can barely make it now and I'm barely able to save, how am I going to live when I'm not working anymore?
Well,
or is the state just going to take care of me?
I think it's okay. You're absolutely right. Because at the end of the day, whether we are spending or not spending, we still are all throwing towards our Social Security. We are. We are all contributing towards our RSP or the pension or whatever the case may be, because if we're working, it's coming straight out of our paycheck.
You're certainly contributing to Canada Pension.
Yes.
Not necessarily your own RSP if you don't have enough money left over at the end of a month. And if you're going to rely on just government funding, Canada Pension, Old Age Security, you're still not going to have enough to live. That's a lot of seniors. I know I've got a couple of friends who are a little bit older than I am who didn't save just because of the kind of jobs they had. They didn't save anything. They're living on only government income right now. Now, they live frugally. They're in assisted housing, so they get a break. But they don't travel. They can't do anything other than, they live frugally. They're fortunate. They've got their lower enough income, lower enough expenses that their government income covers them. I'm not sure that's always going to be the case in the future.
Yeah. I think as things evolve, spending power in itself devolves. But for people my age, how do we approach budgeting from a perspective that it's less restrictive and more constructive? Because it has to be realistic, Norm. It has to be realistic.
You're really asking, how do we make more money?
That's such a conservative answer.
Well, but that's what I hear you say.
That's such a conservative answer.
I love you. But I mean, budgeting is simply a mechanical in and out thing. It's how much do I need to spend? How much is coming in? Where am I at the end of the month? That's what a budget is. It's a mechanical thing. You can have a $10 budget or a $1 million budget. The question is, how do I have a life that I can accumulate at least enough money and wealth to be comfortable, have a safety net of my own when I get older, and maybe do some fun things now, buy a house, go and travel once in a while, rent at least a nice apartment, whatever it is, rather than always feeling paycheck to paycheck. God, if anything happened to me tomorrow and I had to suddenly spend some money, I don't know where I'd be because I wouldn't have it. I feel sorry for people in those situations. I truly do.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. I don't know if there's any realistic way to doing this, much like you said, without making more money, because that's really what it is. I think if young people had access to more money, whether that is, and I'm not saying that, I'm not saying jobs aren't out there. I'm just saying that even for jobs that you don't need qualifications for right now, minimum wage jobs, low-paying jobs that you probably could do on a part-time, they're highly competitive.
Yes, they are. And a lot of people aren't getting those jobs.
They're highly competitive. So I think in order to make this realistic for a lot of young people, there needs to be some... And for me, and I know you're going to say, oh, this is very Marxist of you. In an ideal world, I don't believe human beings should ever work for wage. I think we should work to contribute to society. I never think that we should be working for money. I just...
Well, unfortunately, we need money to live. Until that situation changes, we're going to need money. What we need in this country is to fast track our economy and get us going again, because we've been coasting. Our productivity is low. We're being outcompeted by other countries. We got to generate wealth in this country.
So what about the times?
And our new prime minister wants to do that.
What about the times before now, where people worked in a community, they worked the fields, they harvest the crops, they milled the flour and mined the mines, and everyone got a fair portion, their fair portion based on their family size, and came together.
That's feudalism.
Excuse me?
That's feudalism. That's back in the 1600s in England.
Do you believe that in a future where I don't know, Star Trek, you're like sci-fi. Star Trek is based on a world where that exists. There is no such thing as anyone working a job for income to pay bills. People are working to contribute to the betterment of mankind. And everybody eats for free and is
entertained
for free.
Tell me where that is. I'd like to fly there and visit.
I'm not saying it's a thing. I'm just saying that it should be. This is me personally. In an ideal world, I just don't believe that people should be work. I think capitalism is invented by greedy people. But I digress. Going back to the whole budgeting thing,
And by the way, communists budget just as capitalists do.
it's still a form of economy, so yes.
Comrade, we are running this month.
And I don't know if communist is the word that is
I'm being a smart ass
is applicable here. I think socialist is more of the word that is applicable here, but that is picking at straws at best.
You've gone from being a very solid liberal to you're moving further left all the time. I'm surprised. Stay on the page, okay? At least stay on the page.
One of the things that I find make budgeting difficult for me is all the apps and the tools out there. You're of a different generation, but I'm of the generation where we buy things off TikTok Shop and we buy things off Instagram Store and Amazon.
I buy things. I've ordered stuff off Amazon just yesterday.
Do you
look surprised.
How do you find getting like all these notifications? Like right now it's Prime week, right?
Yeah, but the shit they want to sell me, I'm not interested in.
Oh my God. Just yesterday, I got a notification of something, and I was like, oh my God, I want this, and immediately clicked buy now. Because, you can add to cart, but you can also buy now, and it just immediately just buys it for you.
Yeah, well, that's where you have to exercise discipline. Do I need this? Do I have the money for it? Should I wait a month to pay a little more for it? Hey,
but it was 47% off.
Was it something you needed? Was it something should I ask you what it was, or is that relevant? Oh, okay. It was something okay. It was something you don't want to tell the folks at home about.
I will
which means you could have bought it on Church Street at one of those little stores you go downstairs for, but that's fine.
How dare you? It was a macroneedling set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
And I've always wanted to do macroneedling, but it costs so much money at the dermatologist. So when I saw this kit and it got thousands of reviews, I said, that were positive. I said, I'll try doing it from home for less than $200. Yeah, I'm gonna try it at home.
Now, as a daddy, I have no idea what micro needling is.
Microneedling? It's when you poke your face with thousands of needles, and
I don't have the desire to do that.
But it enhances collagen regeneration and healthier skin. No,
your skin looks fine. You don't need that.
You get when you're getting up there in age.
Vanity, vanity.
You know how it is. Wink, wink. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like these digital tools make it harder, but
well, it does. You got to exercise. You're right. There's more ways to spend your money, easier, faster now because of the technology. But you still got to exercise discipline.
I don't know, Norm.
If you want to save, and this is where I was always somebody that was willing to save. For some people, it doesn't come easily or naturally to want to do that.
Fair.
And I have trouble identifying with people that don't.
I get that. I also understand where they're coming from.
They want to have it now. I think this was my friend's problem when he went $70,000 in debt. He wanted to have things now. He didn't want to wait. But you know what? He's got a gorgeous home. He's got a good vehicle. He travels. He's got a good life. And he's a little bit of hawk right now, but he's paying it off.
Okay.
Okay. He's paying. But in the long run, he's going to pay more for that stuff because he's also paying the interest costs and all that.
Well, you know what? I would rather pay the interest costs and pay for it in the long run and
have it now
and experience. Yeah, because time isn't guaranteed to nobody.
All right. Well, that's
especially in this world.
Well, you know what? I would say that is a rational, legitimate choice, but there are consequences that you've got to pay it off eventually, or you are going to go. You're not going to be borrowing any more money for a long time.
I guess. I guess it makes you wonder the choice between a soft life or a hard life debt free. Which would you choose?
A soft life or a hard life debt free? Well, you can have a good life debt free too.
Who? Show me somebody who has a soft life debt free. Well, you're raising your hand, but you're of a different generation.
Oh, well, but you asked me for an example of. I don't have a soft life.
I mean, somebody who is not of a privileged generation.
Look, it was easier.
Somebody who wasn't alive at the time when milk was delivered in a bottle.
Well, I do remember those days too. I remember that was in the 60s. I do remember
somebody
that.
who doesn't remember when Lincoln was shot.
Lincoln. Now that's going back a little far.
Is it
That's
Lincoln?
going back to 1865.
Is it Lincoln? No, who?
Kennedy?
When Kennedy was shot.
I
Thank
remember
you.
that. I remember that.
Right? I need somebody who Lincoln.
That was a horrible day.
I'm getting my white people mixed
That
up.
was a horrible time. Yeah, I remember that very well. It was easier for my generation to come out of school and get a job and have the possibility of owning a home, building a family. I mean, those were things that we kind of took for granted in some ways.
Yeah.
And today, you cannot take that for granted.
Do you think that also the boomer generation has also, and feel free to speak on behalf of your people, do you think that the boomer generation is also guilty of making discussing money taboo? And let me
Where do you come with that one? I've never heard that one.
A lot of young people do not, even amongst my friends in our age group or our age bracket, does not discuss how much they make.
That's true. People are very discreet about their money. Yeah.
One of the weirdest things is a friend of mine recently told me that she thinks that we should start discussing money more openly, which is what inspired me for today's topic. Shout out to Susie. So Susan said to me, we should be discussing money more openly because I used to be very discreet about talking about how much I make because I don't want anyone to think that, I make a lot of money, so I should be the one paying for dinner, or I don't want the guy that I'm dating to feel emasculated, only to find out when I talk to people who she works as a PM, a project manager in tech. And she's like, only to discuss it with other friends who work in the same industry, in the same role, that earns almost double what I make. And I thought I was bawling.
Wow.
So she's here being discreet, trying to play cute, while she's getting screwed in the ass.
Well, asking how you're doing professionally and your salary is one thing, and I think that's a legitimate conversation.
Yeah, but a lot of people
don't like to talk about it.
Will not tell you.
Well,
They'll be like,
what?
I'm comfortable. I asked one of my girlfriends who is a cybersecurity director, and the response to me is like, I'm comfortable. I get paid. I like what I get paid. I negotiate. You need to negotiate your salary. No, blah, 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 blah. And it's telling me a whole lot of nothing. Just going around and coming back around town, and just like, it wasn't giving me much of anything. And I'm just like, girl, just tell me the figure.
You wanted a number, right?
Yes.
You wanted a number.
I wanted a number so that I can negotiate my numbers.
Well, there are ways around getting that information. That's, human resources companies
And
do
people
salary
say,
surveys and stuff.
Hey, why don't you just check the internet? The internet isn't a reliable source when it comes down to that. Because you can go to one company and they will say, this is how much we are paying you. And 9 times out of 10, the advertisement that they're putting up is a low ball.
Probably.
It's a low ball. It's an absolute low ball. I have a friend who I was talking to just yesterday. I'll show you the text, right? And he's also a PM for tech. He specifically works in cloud security. And he said, when he was looking, because he's looking to leave where he's working now because they want him to come into work 5 days a week, and the office is in Mississauga. He doesn't drive. He says, well, fuck that. I'm not going to work 5 days a week all the way in buttfuck nowhere. So he says, I'm going to start looking for jobs. He starts looking at a job online. The credentials, everything that they require, he has, and the everything lines up for him.
Except
the pay, they're offering $94,000.
So the question I would ask, what's the range for that kind of
He
work?
said, that is low.
Okay, so it'd be something like 80 to 140 is probably the range for that, and this company's lowballing
The
it.
current company that he works at, he's paid $180,000.
That's an amazing amount of money.
But that's how much the people who work in that field
Yeah.
should be paid.
Yes.
That's how much they should be paid.
huge amount of money.
So it was ridiculous to see how much they were offering, and it's not an entry level position.
Yeah. That's a good salary for someone who's a young person.
It's not even a mid level position,
I was earning a little bit more than that in my last job.
and he's supposed to be a senior PM with they're requesting at least 6 different certifications.
Wow.
And if anybody listening knows anything about PM certifications, especially in tech, those membership dues, oh my God. Especially if you're with ISACA or
That's a professional organization for,
IC2 Square,
okay, these are professional
these are
associations.
professional associations
your field.
in tech, yeah. Oh my God. You're talking about $600 US just for the membership alone. We're not talking about the fees that you have to pay to maintain the individual certifications that you have under that membership per year, which costs over $1,000 US.
That gives you your credentials to continue working.
That gives you your credentials to continue working. We're
Yeah.
not talking about
Yeah.
the additional credits that you have to get outside of work. It's expensive to upkeep these credentials, but they want you to have it, but they don't want you to pay you for your credentials. And they know these credentials are expensive. Now, my company, I can't be too hard on
Because they help you pay for them.
because they happily pay for the credentials.
Well, that's good. That's a good company.
Let me rephrase. They happily not pay me for my credentials, but they happily pay me to maintain my credentials. So they pay the dues
Yeah,
and they pay the credentials,
that's good. That's
Which is
a good
fair.
company. That's very fair. It's a good company.
which is fair.
Yeah.
But you would be shocked, Norm, how many companies out there will not do it.
Hey, as an employee, you have a choice to go with a company that does or doesn't, or not to go with a company that's offered you a job but doesn't have everything you want. Hey, life is not fair, okay?
But remember, the discussion is how do we make more money?
Well, you find a company that does what you want, and if you can't, you got to settle for less. That's the reality of life.
This is why this is the exact reason why capitalism is a scourge on our society.
Well, okay, and I accept that it's a scourge, and in the short term,
Do you know?
nothing else is going to change in the short term. So we're stuck with it.
We need to change
Get
our
with the
minds.
program.
We need to no. Everybody else needs to get with the program. Then we need to change our attitudes, and people need to put their foot down. Employers need to do better. There's enough money out there for people to go around. There's enough money.
You want to change human nature at the same time?
There is no reason why you should be asking for people to have more degrees than a thermometer, and you don't want to pay them for it. It's expensive.
Well, as a daddy who's been through his education, been through his career, I'm in sort of semi-retirement mode. I got to tell you, I happily don't spend time thinking about that stuff.
Well, good for you. Good for you, because a lot of us are in that same position.
And it's
Let me ask
hard.
you a question.
And it's hard.
When you got your very first paycheck, Like a big boy paycheck. And I'm not talking about like when you're working at the corner store, so working at
No,
Eaton's.
my
You're-
first job out of university.
You're right. You're a big boy paycheck. Like
Yeah.
you're put on your suits and you're marching to work in your shoes, in your pumps, in your heels. That was polished. You could see your future in it. Were you able to pay for rent and food and still save? How did that feel?
Didn't have any savings. I earned $10,500 a year in my first job out of university.
What was that like in the 40s?
For 70s, Eddie. Well, I shared accommodation. I couldn't afford my own place. I bought a used car. Mm-hmm. My education my graduate education didn't start for 2 years. I didn't have a big student loan to pay off, fortunately. Not like today. Today's student loans are exorbitant
I'm
compared
still paying my master's.
compared to what they were.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm having anxiety about law school? I'm still paying for I haven't even finished paying off my master's.
Are you going to law school?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Answer the question.
What was the question again?
Big boy paycheck.
I probably didn't have any extra money left over. I mean, I can't. Did I start saving for my retirement then? I'm not sure. It would have started 4 years later once I started working after business school. But I think the first job out of university, I was.
So that wasn't your big boy paycheck. I'm talking about your big boy paycheck.
Well, I didn't have enough of them to really tell until the early 80s. I wanted more than I was earning. I know that feeling. Mm-hmm. Hey, other people are making more money than I'm making right now doing the same kind of work. That bugged me for a long time. So I can identify with that. But even though I wasn't always earning what I wanted to, I was still saving. That was then, and this is now. Why? I was sharing accommodation for the first few years. Rents and cost of living were probably lower then in proportion to what people were earning than they are today.
I was just about to say,
I think
because
that's
even
what's
shared accommodation today's nearly $2,000.
Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine. I could have bought a mansion for that.
It is. Have you looked recently on any rental site? People are asking for 1,700, 1,800. The lowest I saw
For what?
for a shared bedroom
Oh God, I've got my
in
own
a
place.
house or a condo.
I have my own apartment
cheapest
for that
I
much.
saw was 1,400, and it was all the way out in Whitby.
I got it good. I'm 1,700 plus parking where I'm at.
Yeah, but you're locked in.
What do you
And
mean locked
you're
in?
locked in a period of time where rent is controlled.
Yes.
If you should leave and go back, it would not be that same price.
you're damn right.
I know it and you know it.
That's right. And I'm going
Right?
to have to be out of there in 3 years
Remember,
when they tear the building down.
This is for our audience that is significantly younger than me, at least by 8 or 9 years,
Yeah, so
who are
here's-
just coming out of uni, their bachelor's degree, and they're trying to,
Make it.
They're trying to make it in this big,
I don't know how they do it.
in is this big scary world.
Leave Toronto.
That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people are doing it. Look at the condo market. Nobody's moving into those damn condos. They're still coming on stream because they were approved 5 years ago when things were good. I don't know who's going to be able to live in Toronto.
Certainly not me. But that's a conversation for another time.
It is.
That's for another podcast.
And our drinks are empty too. I think we're probably nearing the end of our.
We're wrapping up near to the end of it, but I have a couple more things that I have on my mind that I wanted to ask you, and it's more of like get to know Daddy, and Daddy.
Well, I want to hear Son's opinion because it's not just Daddy.
Today's my production.
Okay.
I am asking the questions here. What was your first big purchase that you made when you were growing up?
Growing up or when I was out of school? Growing up?
Aren't you still growing up?
We're all growing up.
Wait,
I bought a car.
When did you get out of? What year did you get out of school?
My undergrad, the first big purchase out of undergrad, I bought a used car. I was living in Ottawa, and I thought, there's no damn way I will live in this town without a car.
Wow.
That was a big purchase.
My first big purchase was a brand new car.
Now, there is a difference. I put off buying the new car for 7 more years.
See, I didn't want to have to deal with the mechanics and...
Oh, let me tell you, when I got rid of my car, there was a hole in the floor.
Are you
My
serious?
used car, yes. But I put up with having less than perfect. But when I was ready to afford a new car, a 1983 Honda Accord, $10,400. Can you believe that? $10,000 for a new Honda?
For a brand new car?
Brand new car with tape deck, power windows, and power steering. I was in heaven.
That
and
is
Michael
insane.
Jackson playing on the tape deck.
Let me guess, Beat It.
Yes. Thriller, 1983. Oh, his best album. I miss Michael Jackson.
I could not have to, like, I couldn't imagine, the repair cost, I was like, no, I can't do all that. I'm just going to get a brand new car and call it a day.
You're smart.
Well, if you have any advice to people my age bracket, right, or even younger that are just coming out of graduate school or coming out of doing their bachelor's and getting into the world.
Yeah, learn a trade.
You think that's where it's at?
That's where it's at now.
I think it's really a trade. I think people should leave tech alone. I think we're becoming oversaturated. I think they're starting to underpay us because they know that we're becoming oversaturated. I think folks need to start getting into the trade. Learn how to carpentry.
Learn to weld. Cut a saw.
Learn how to plumb.
Electrician. Anything that deals with energy management, security. What your field is hot, cybersecurity.
Well, I tell people to reconsider becoming a plumber.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think mortgage rates were better back in your day?
Actually, they were 17-18% for a few years in the 80s. Oh, yeah. I remember thinking, I'll never own a house. I remember thinking that in the early 80s. There's no way I'll ever earn.
What changed?
Interest rates came down. Inflation came down.
So do you think for us it will come down again?
Interest rates are still only 4 or 5, 6%.
That's still too high.
Yeah. The problem is we have too many people,
because
not enough supply.
Interest rates may be 4, 5, 6%, but when I went to TD, even though interest rate at the time was 6.8%, they were stress testing me at 9%.
Yeah, that's high.
Because they're not going to stress test you at the current rate of inflation. They're going to stress test you at 3 or 4% higher.
Depending on your risk premium. Yeah, it's
right?
Because of your student loans.
Could be.
Yeah, no, they're assessing. When they do a debt assessment, they look at your income, they look at your debt service costs, they're looking for a ratio of how much you're going to be able to spend of your income towards servicing your mortgage. And if it's the tighter that is, the higher the interest rate.
So how do I close the loop then? Because if I don't get educated, I can't get the job. And if I don't get the job, I can't get the mortgage. And if I can't get the mortgage because I have the student loan that made me get the job, how do I close the loop? I feel attacked.
You feel trapped.
Yes.
Do you want to study law?
I really do. I really would love
Then do what you want to do. Do what you love, do what you want to do, and let the results, if that's what you want to do and you feel it's the right thing, put your whole mind and heart into it and do it.
It could be the biggest mistake of my life.
Listen, the worst that can happen is you don't pay it off.
It could be the biggest mistake of my life. I could go to my grave and not finish paying off that student loan and not know what it's like to live life.
But you'll be a lawyer. You'll have a great work. You may not own a home, but should be living in a very nice home like you are right now, which is much nicer than mine, even though you're paying a little more for it. But you have a higher standard of living than I do, and I've got 10 times the assets you do. Give me a break. Isn't that kind of weird?
You know what? That's a choice. Let me ask you a question. Speaking of the biggest mistake of my life.
Uh-oh.
What is and this is the last question I have for you today. What's the biggest mistake financially you have made in your life?
Well, you know it.
How did you overcome it? You want to share with the audience or not today?
I had a home, and I sold it to move in with my partner, and we bought another place and paid off the mortgage. And then when we split up, I had half of what was left, and I thought, what am I going to do with this money? And I blew the money. I blew it on investing in stupid stuff. I trusted somebody who wasn't trustworthy. So anything that I could put into a home now is gone. Have I recovered? Yeah, mentally and emotionally I have. Mm-hmm. Financially, well, not really. Because there's sometimes you make financial mistakes that have lasting consequences. But am I happy with my life? Yeah, sure. Am I living in a decent place? Yeah, I got a roof over my head. It's maybe not a 4-story house and a big townhouse or whatever that might have been with unit air conditioning and a dishwasher and all those other nice things. But, hey, I'm here.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I do.
I can imagine. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me today. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure all the other younger folks out there appreciate it too.
We all have financial challenges, no matter what the age.
It is the number one stressor for young people
I'm
these
sure
days.
it is.
We can't keep up. We cannot keep up. Right, Phoenix? You're here crying and moaning all over the place. Sit here and stay still. Not a word.
You tell the dog to go to bed, and it ran out of the room and went to bed. I think that's amazing. This dog talks English.
So, yeah, I'm really appreciative of that. Thank you, Norm. Thank you. And thank you, listeners, gentle listeners, for listening to today's episode. Now, if you've made it all the way to the end, please be sure to share this show, like it on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you get your podcasts. We are now on iHeartRadio.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we are.
Good
yes,
stuff.
Yes, we are. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called @Daddy and Son Podcast. The YouTube channel is called @Daddy and Son Podcast. If you have any questions for the show, send them over to daddyandsonpodcast@gmail.com. That is DADDYANDSON podcast@gmail.com. Until next time, sons, be good to your daddies.
Daddies, be kind to your sons.